because, like I said, when the book came out in 2019, I bought it, I started reading it, and I was just so horrified that the character was behaving like it was just so embarrassing, like the things that she was doing, that I just couldn't read it anymore. But I loved how real it was, like the text messages. If you read the book, like she actually has prints of the WhatsApp messages, the messages, like in the book, and I was like, wow, like it was revolutionary. However, the subject was so raw because I had just read Candace's documentary, like her life story, um, and you know, this one was just, let's just say the word, like her dating life was just atrocious, and I couldn't finish the book. Now, I just left it on the shelf, and this wonderful book has now appeared in a sitcom, which is great. May I add, which is great, yes. Um, and it just brought, you know, it just brought the story to life. Okay, and yeah, I just want to talk about that, because you know, I suppose like this book is about Candace. Like, let's be honest, like she looks like a queen. She's a very attractive. When Candace came out, very attractive lady. She was like in her 20s. She's now about 31. But yeah, it's the same cycle of a black girl growing up in London, working in corporate, being used and abused for their labor and mistreated, being the token black person. Like a lot of black girls can relate to that here in London because that is something that happens. But it seems to be where I think this has been going on for decades, and it actually, like, Candice is a very clever writer because she put it in paper and she made it like, you know, she put it down and like, yeah, we noticed what you're doing, and it made white people realize, that yeah, this is how we treat black girls. Yeah, we treat them like shit. And it just ended up like lighting a torch, if you could say that. Yeah, and similar experiences. So yeah, what I wanted to say was, well, because I did used to live in South London, and I do remember Brixton. I used to go there shopping, and I used to buy my onions there, I used to buy my meat there. It's not as glamorous as it looked in the movie, because when I was there, it was dirty. It was ghetto. Okay, it was not gentrified when I was there. However, it started to get gentrified around the time Candice wrote that. She's clearly from South London, so but that was when all white people started moving in, making it trendy, calling it Brixton Green and all these silly names. And yeah, and Candice sort of adapted the book, to include that. And with the sitcom, it kind of like upgraded it a little bit. But I love the sitcom. The lady Dion is an excellent Queenie. She literally brought Queenie to life. Like, the plaits, the bun, that was in fashion. That whole knot thing, the knot thing was in fashion. Baby hair, big hoop earrings. Like, I even had hoop earrings like back in 2006. Like, that is such a South London thing to have hoop earrings. Like, at one time they would weigh me down, like they would weigh my head down. So, but yeah, everybody, like, we had perfect hair in South London. Nobody, you see, now that I moved up to North London, my hair like is like wild and free. But in South London, your hair had to be perfect. There's like every black girl has perfect hair. Like, there's no excuse. And I just also remember, South London being a party place. Like literally, the whole town would just go out at the same time. Like all these young people would just be like going out at the same time and then going home at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, and Halloween was just crazy. So it was just hilarious because Halloween would dress up, and I dressed up. Like I remember I went out and I dressed up, and like Halloween was just it's crazy, like crazy. Like the whole town would be in outfits. Like I remember being on the bus and some guy was dressed up as Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. Another one was dressed up as Cleopatra. Like the whole because everybody was young. Like everybody was a professional and. Halloween was a big one. Like we'd just go out and party and stuff. It was really, really cool. So no, I liked it. I liked it was very much like exactly how it was, and the whole corporate thing as well. That's how it's so true in the workplace. Like the token black person, you're like living the double life. Like when you go there, you're like living a different life and stuff. And just the microaggression in the comments about your food. Like I used to bring food from home, and then they keep asking me every single day, "What have you brought? What is it? It smells nice." At one point, I'm like my manager kept asking me, I'm like, "Do you just want to eat? Like, do you want to try it? Do you want to try it? Like, why are you always asking me what have I made? So lucky. It smells nice. I like yours." I'm like, but it's one of those things. And I also remember, like, we would all go out after work, like on Friday. Like, I'm not joking. Like, we would all dress up. Like, I had my hair straighteners and makeup with me on a Friday night, and I actually got ready in the office. Like, we would all get ready and then go out and drink. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was crazy. People would work there, but they would also go out. So that's very and then when Queenie got drunk and stuff, like you did bring memories. But the only thing is when I was at work I did not fall drunk. Like Queenie made the mistake of actually passing out and all that nonsense. Like that, she really let her guards down. Like I never would do anything like that. Like I had my limit. I would just leave. I'll be like, before I got tipsy, before I started saying things I shouldn't say, I would leave. But that's the trick. Like that's how they want to get to know you. Is what they want to see a bit of drama. They want to see how you act when you're drunk. Like it is a trap. It's a test, and you shouldn't really fall for that, to be honest. And she fell for it, and yeah, so that's her mistake. Like she thought she was being wild and carefree, but oh my god, you don't do that. Like just and also this whole online dating business, like that wasn't around when it was around, it was starting to be around. And I remember I told my friend, my good friend, I'm like, why don't you be on the app? Because she was single. I was like, do you want to be on the app? But I wanted her to be on the Guardian app dating thing, where they put the newspaper. And I had a picture, and I did a little writing for her. But racist Guardian didn't want a black girl to be featured on their newspaper because this is how they used to just overlook all the black girls. Like they couldn't even feature my pretty friend because they were racist, and now they're trying to be all like down with the race thing and stuff. And the funny thing with Queen is like, I know she worked for the Guardian. I'm sorry, but like it was just like the font was literally what the Guardian is, and like culture. She was taking the piss. Like I love that about what Queenie did with the sitcom. So yeah, no, yeah, they would just feature white people on the dating thing that they used to put on online, and I put my friend in there. They didn't even put my friend in there. So they're rude, like unnecessary. But yeah, so um, I can't believe that she would like the disgusting messages that she got. Like I heard about that with the dating apps. Like there was these leery men that would just leave horrible messages about black girls, and that's that's actually true. Like it did happen because you know they fetishize like black women, and it was just weird. Like weird time to grow up. And I've said it before. Like at the time Harry and what's his name, William, were going out clubbing at the time, and they had a no black girls policy at the nightclubs that they would go to, so it would just only be like white girls, like so much racism in London, and like you know that's why they're going crazy about Meghan Markle with her half black self, like that's how much racism there was here, and you know because they want to keep the royal bloodline pure or whatever, what nonsense, but it was just like a weird time to grow up, like, and it was just weird, like absolutely weird, like to be a black girl in 2006, like crazy. I mean, Queenie clearly, lost it. She even went down the whole interracial thing, which was just a whole mess. Like, how can you date a white guy when there's like racism going on at that time, like around 2019? I could not do it. Like, I just could not do it. Like, but she went there and and that's why she lost it. Like the way she was mistreated, um, and the way that she was pretending to be this perfect person for this white guy who had all these like stereotypes about her. No wonder why she lost it. No wonder why she lost it. I mean, I know people that, were with their white boyfriends and they had a eureka moment during the Black Lives Matter and divorced their husband during lockdown, like because they realized that they were, living, they weren't being true to themselves. They were trying to impress this guy because they would bring like, they would expect you. I hated how all the black girls that dated these white men had to go hiking and like live their lifestyle, like wear plastic rain macs, be super duper nice, be organic, like, oh, it has to be organic. Like, they were not being their true, authentic self. And these women had kids with these men, and, you know, their influence was just too much. Like, they could not be themselves. They had to, like, convert them into, like, mini white people, but they're black. They couldn't be their true authentic self because their stupid boyfriend always had something to say, like, let's go hiking. No, I don't want to go hiking. Like, no, you couldn't be yourself. Like, they couldn't wear headscarves at night because their white boyfriend would be offended. So I mean, personally, I just don't know how they did it, but I can see why Queen had a breakdown. Um, no, because there was too much racial issue to be doing that whole interracial nonsense, which I just could not do. I mean, it was just there was just too much racial tension to that, and then you would get white guys just staring, like they would stare, like because they've been conditioned to think all black women are just unattractive. So when they find themselves like gawping at a black girl, like staring at them, then they'll be like, oh my god, what am I doing? Like, I've been conditioned to hate these people. Like, what am I doing? My body wants them. So, like, these black girls that are dating these racists, are having like internal battles and they're taking out their like micro hidden racism on their black girlfriend. No wonder why you're going cuckoo. I'm sorry, but I like my mental health. I'm not going to experiment with people that hate me. Do you know what I mean? They haven't had their, you know, at least Prince Harry like admitted he was racist, but these lot don't admit. Like they're always trying to change them and make them, and just like my good friend who ended up divorcing this white guy. She just couldn't, and now she's like super duper Afrocentric. Like, oh my god, like she's just like, oh my god, I'm African. Like she walks around praying to recover from dating that asshole back in 2006. Okay, they have a kid, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, there is a big problem, like living in London at the time and the whole race thing. And I'm going on Google and these people are watching Queenie. I'm like, it's like the biggest sitcom, like New York Times have written an article about Queenie. Um, what is it, CNN or CNBC, whatever. Um, Forbes, even Times, the nasty racist newspapers like the Times, the Telegraph, who hate black women, and the other MFers, Daily Mail, are saying good things. Like, what's with the positivity? Like, you lot made it hell for black women, and now you're like praising Queenie. Like, are you lot mad? You spent like 5 years harassing a half black woman that looks white. Like, she considers herself white. She thought she was down with you lot, but no, you made it clear that, oh no, you're black, mom. You come from the black bloodline, and you chased her out the island. And you still blame her, like, for the monarchy and shit. And now they want to be positive about Queenie, a black girl from Brixton with a big bum. Like, make it make sense, like, literally. And now they're, writing rave reviews. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I don't even know what to say. But Channel 4 did a really good sitcom. And I think, like, this girl Dion is, like, really famous now. But anyway, yeah. This island is racist. It's hell. It was terrible. Being an adulting, being a black girl, 2006 was shit. It was crap. Queenie clearly, went crazy. And I know it's about the author, Candice. I know it's about you, so let's not even go there. But I think a lot of black girls that have gone through corporate jobs, like the amount of BS that a lot of black women have gone through during that time, I didn't care, to be honest. I fought back. I did send them emails. What else did I do? I sent a horrible present during Secret Santa. You lot deserved it. You deserved that crappy present. It was for me. It was for me. And I also tried to sue you lot, but clearly it didn't work. It didn't work. But anyway, that was me. That was my journey. But what do I want to say? What do I want to say? Yeah, no, you lot ignored us, like, invisibility. They did that whole colorism thing, like, only promote mixed race women, like, pretend like the darkest ones didn't exist. They did so much BS, like, there was so much evil on this island. Let me tell you something, there was so much evil. So, all of a sudden, you know what, let me tell you how evil this island is, yeah, okay? 3 years ago, there was a black girl on her way, who probably looked like Queenie, average London black girl, went on her way to work. Do you know what happened to her? She got run over, not by one person, by 3 people. Like, she was on the floor and nobody stopped to save the black girl. Nobody stopped to save her. This was in Hackney, another gentrified place. It just showed you, like, being a black girl is not safe. It's not safe in London. Like, the amount of racism and the gentrification. This poor black girl, like, she got run over by 3 times by different cars who couldn't be bothered to stop. Like, that is how much devilish this city is and has been for black girls. Like, this black girl, they didn't even feature her in the paper. Like, they should really go back and feature that girl because she got run over 3 times by different people. They said, oh, black girl, who cares? I'm late for work. Drove over her. Like, that's how much hate there is on this island. And I still think about that black girl. And another black woman, Joyce, what's her name? Joyce Vincent, who was dead, like, in her apartment for a good 5 years. Like, some attractive black girl. She worked in corporate. She had the job and everything. She was lying dead in her apartment for a good 5 years. They found, like, there was nothing left of her. Like, when they found her, that was around the time of, hang on, when did they find her? Like, again, those crazy time, like 2006, 2008, when racism was, like, at its peak. And, and this black girl was not even featured on like the press. Like, they just had a tiny column because it was a black girl that was that was found dead, and they said, oh, black woman was found dead. Not black, but woman was found dead. She was like dead for 3 years, was it 5 years? And the neighbors just thought the smell was from the bins. Nobody knew she died. Like, and the filmmaker who made that film, Dreams of a Life, she was so horrified that she just saw the small newspaper, like, column, because it was a black woman who died. They couldn't even bother to, like, feature her picture or anything. She actually did some investigative journalism, and made a film about this girl, brought her to life. Like she was somebody. Like she was a very attractive woman who dated one of those nasty MPs and rappers, and she was actually well known, like social girl, like Queenie. Like this shit has been happening since the 90s. Like was she was somebody, but somewhere along her life, I think it was around when she was about 38, she was in a domestic violence shelter, and she was dead for like a good 5 years. Nobody knew, and they found her skeletal remains, and she made it into life. Now this story was so horrifying that it's literally trending. Like the whole world is seeing like how horrible they are to black girls in the UK and how nasty they treat black women. That brought her story to life, and yeah, no, and now we see like how they treat Diane Abbott, the first black female MP since the 80s. you know, One of the Tory funders was like, "Oh, I can't stand her. It just makes me hate all black women." Like these people hate like black women. Like they have something against black women, and then now you want to show Queenie off and be like, "Oh my God, like they're actually human." Like, oh my God, like no, seriously. And then there's like a black woman called Joyce. What's her name? Yeah, that she's like a freedom fighter, but unfortunately, she was shot by her own, which is crazy. But all I want to say is, um, yeah, it's great here. Like we have a community and everything, but this sudden interest is quite weird. It's quite weird, and people need to understand, that the hate is real. If you've ever watch what is it, Get Out, the same thing here. Like these people don't like you, so and all of a sudden now they want to humanize us, like they want to humanize black girls, and all I've got to say is if you're a black girl, just tell them to f off, literally f off, go f yourselves. We don't like you. We never have. You never liked us. um, and collectively as black girls we should just use witchcraft on these idiots, literally. And we can just stand on the ground barefoot, and the earth is on our side. Like they can f off. So anyway, what I want to say was just how um, crazy it is that all of a sudden Queenie's trending, um, and that we just need to look within ourselves. And this whole, I just don't like the fact she had a white therapist. Like the white therapist needs to shut up. Like in the sitcom, like this is another thing. Queenie and her white pandering. Like she does not need to be speaking to a white therapist. The white therapist does not understand what it's like to be a black woman. She should have had a black therapist. Like um, stop trying to create this racial harmony when there isn't. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist here. Okay, we get along, but these people are hateful. They've been hateful for a good, since I would say 2000 and not 2002, because that was like Beyonce era, the black music era. Like that was cool. I would say around 2000, just when the Tories came in, like 2006 until now, it's called the hateful era. The hateful era. And yeah, that's what I want to talk about.